Now, this is part two of how a false prophet carries the spirit of death. In today's topic, part B, is the people pleasing prophets. Okay? And I hope that you're taking all this in, and I'm going to give your scriptures in advance. This time we're in 1 Kings 22, and we will also have a reference to the New Testament, Acts the 9th chapter, about Saul, who was transformed into Paul, and about the warning that David received from the prophet Nathan and Isaiah and Hezekiah. We're going to compare all of these true prophecies and how a false prophecy can only give you death. It cannot produce life because life is not in it. It comes from the father of lies. So stay tuned and be blessed with this word today. And you can follow us on YouTube, Janice Chambers 2003, in order to receive more of this excellent teaching. Now, we're going to go to 1 Kings 22. All right? And I'm not going to read it verbatim because we don't have a lot of time. But this is what's going on. And it came to pass in the third year. Now, there were two kings, Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, and it was Ahab, the king of Israel. And the king of Israel, they wanted to, he was talking to the king, Jehoshaphat, said that, we can go down in battle with Ramoth and Gilead. It's ours, and we will be still and take it. And can we do this? Can we take this hand out of the land of Syria? And so he went on to say to Jehoshaphat, he said, now I want you to go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead. And Jehoshaphat said, now look, before you go into any battle, I think you need to hear a word from the Lord. That's what the kings did. Back in that day, they had their own prophets. They had the voice of God to tell them whether to go into war or to not go into it, okay? And so the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, so I want you to go to me in battle. But Jehoshaphat said, you need to get a word from the Lord, from a real prophet, basically. Because we can't be just jumping up here killing people, and get all out of the will of God and nothing is working. So he said, now you're going to get a word of the Lord. So the king of Israel, he got all his little prophets together, about 400 of them. You already know it's nothing good coming out of that because of all of that confusion, okay? So the king of Israel, he got about 400 prophets, and he asked all of them, he said, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or should I not, And all 400 of them said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver you into the hand of the king. There were people-pleasing prophets because that was not the truth. They were giving him a false prophet, like many of you have received false prophecies down through the years, and it only caused you havoc, place your life on hold, or either led you to a premature death. Okay, so in Jehoshaphat, he wasn't pleased with that. He said, don't you have any more prophets besides these that can get a word from God? And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, yeah, there's one more. His name's Micaiah. He's the son of Amli. And he said he talks to the Lord, but he never has anything good to say about me. True prophecy will reprove and rebuke you, edify you, and get you right on the right track. All right? But the king of Israel, he didn't want to hear that. He just wanted to hear those sweet nothings and to receive all of those people-pleasing prophecies that he had been receiving from all 400 of his prophets who were afraid of him in the first place and didn't want to tell him the truth. So, and Jehoshaphat said, well, let just go get him, and let's hear a word, because evidently Jehoshaphat wasn't feeling this, all this unison prophecies and all these 400 people prophesied at one time, and that's not right, okay? So the king of Israel sent someone. He said, you go get Micaiah, the prophet. And so the king of Israel, Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, they both of them sat on a throne, and they put on their robes and put in a void place, and they were waiting for all the prophets to prophesy before them, and they kept prophesying lies. Now Zedekiah, the son of Shananan, made him horns of iron. He said, thus said the Lord, you're going to push the Syrians until they have consumed it. He was lying too. And all the prophets kept saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead, telling them to go into a battle that God did not want them to go in because they weren't going to make it out. It was nothing good. They were not going to win. And so when the messenger got to Micaiah, he tried to kind of school him. He said, look, everybody else is saying good things, telling the king of Israel good things about this battle. And I want you to tell them good things too. And Micaiah was a true prophet. He said, I'm not going to say anything that God didn't tell me to say. Whether it be good or bad or whatever, a real prophet's going to tell you. They will build you up, edify you, and keep you on track with God. All right? And he said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord tell me, that's what I'm going to say. And so he went to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or should we not? And Micaiah was he was just playing along. He said, go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver you into the hand of the king, because he knew that the king did not really want to hear the truth. But the king knew that Micaiah was kind of messing with him. Micaiah got kind of gangster on him and stuff. And the king said, and how many times am I going to tell you not to tell me anything that's not true in the name of the Lord? And evidently he knew Micaiah was a true prophet, even though Micaiah was always rebuking him through the spirit and not telling him anything good. And so Micaiah the prophet, he went on and told him the truth. He said, I saw all of Israel scattered upon the hills like sheep that don't have a shepherd. And the Lord said, they have no master, let them return every man to his own house in peace. And so the king of Israel, he turned to Jehoshaphat. See, I told you he's not going to tell me anything good. See, I told you he's not going to tell me anything good, but something evil. And he said, now hear therefore the word of the Lord. He said, I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, and the host of heaven standing by him, and his right hand and on his left. And Micaiah went on to prophesy. He said, the Lord sent a lying spirit out here to confuse you. And if you go out in that battle, you're not going to come back in peace. He was telling the truth. You're not going to come back in peace. But Ahab decided he was going to go anyway. And he tried to dress Jehoshaphat up like him in his clothes. So if anybody got killed, it would have been Jehoshaphat. But when they went into battle, and Jehoshaphat was wearing the king's clothes, the king of Israel's clothes, and he was attacked, but he began to cry out. And the enemies from the other camp, they recognized that he was not who they wanted to kill. They found the king of Israel. They smoked him between his shoulders, and it wasn't too long after then he died. But before the king of Israel left, he sent Micaiah off. He said, y'all put him away and just feed him the bread of affliction and the water of affliction, make him suffer until I come back in peace. You know what Micaiah said to him? He said, if you come back here in peace, then God didn't talk to me. Oh, I love that part. That's what happened. See, Micaiah forewarned him. That's true prophecy. He said, you ain't got no business doing that. In other words, your people will not have a shepherd. They're not going to have a king. They're not going to have anything if you go out there. But this king was disobedient, and he tried to override the true prophets of God. He had all those people-pleasing prophets, 400 of them, that was telling him lies, and they led him right into death. I told you, false prophecies will only lead you to death because they come from their father, the devil, which is to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And that's it for today. You take heed to this word, okay? God is trying to shake us up and not to have, so we will not have itching ears, running after prophecy, seeking prophecy, when we should be getting in our word and seeking God and praying and fasting and allowing God to fellowship with us through our suffering, instead of keep running to these old false prophets that are laying up, whoremongering, molesting children, having these same-sex relationships, doing things that are ungodly, stealing your money and everything else. And you got that spell on you, and you keep running back and forth to them, and it's cutting your days short. This is Evangelist Janice Chambers, the PWC Fellowship. Follow us on Facebook, Janice Chambers 2003. And follow us on YouTube, Janice Chambers 2003. Hope this word is a blessing to you. I'll be back with the conclusion on tomorrow. You have a good day, guys. Goodbye. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free.